Cemeteries are common places that have ghostly sightings and other paranormal activity. The Greenwood Cemetery in Chattanooga is no different. The ghost that is most often seen around the Greenwood Cemetery was once a wealthy woman who lived across the lake with her husband. After becoming wheelchair-bound because of health issues, her husband decided to cheat on her and eventually killed her. People say that it is possible to see the tracks from a wheelchair on the cemetery grounds. Furthermore, people who claim to have seen the woman say she is not in human form, but is more of a green mist. Conflicting reports say they have seen the woman wandering near the lake, and she appears to be a shade of green. People living in Kingsport have heard the stories about one of the most haunted locations in East Tennessee, the Sensabaugh Tunnel. Any place that has been around since the 1920s and is apparently the site of a mass murder is sure to be the site of paranormal activity. Paranormal investigators travel to the Sensabaugh Tunnel in the hopes of acquiring an EVP. They also hope they might be fortunate enough to capture one of the ghosts that hang around the tunnel with their cameras. It is not uncommon to hear the crying of a baby in the tunnel or seeing orbs in and around it. Many visitors to the area say they have heard what they assume to be the murdered family members of Mr. Sensabaugh, the namesake of the tunnel. People looking for haunted places in Elizabethton need to check out Gwendolyn's house. The home has been around since the early 1900s. One of the overall options of the property is that it is incredibly scary to visit. People have witnessed what appears to be the ghost of a black dog running around the house in both the basement and the hallways. Other sightings include a woman in white who likes to stand in or near the windows of the house. Ghost hunters that have been to Gwendolyn's house also say that when people enter the home, a ghost or entity that is angry screams at them. Who the entity is and why they are so aggressive is not known. Ghost hunters who travel to the Wheatland Plantation in Sevier, Tennessee are in for a real treat. The location is one of the most haunted plantations in the country, courtesy of its horrible history that is filled with murders and deaths numbering over 70. It was the location of battles fought during the Civil and Revolutionary Wars. If that is not enough, there are also nearly 70 graves for African slaves, a mass grave for roughly 28 Cherokee Indians, and a couple of soldiers from the Revolutionary War. Some of the ghosts that wander around the property are from the Chandler family who once called the plantation home. Investigators have captured what sounds like Native Americans chanting when doing a spirit box section. In the basement of the plantation, some people have sensed that children were present. Another investigator reported that she had a difficult time breathing while in the basement and began crying uncontrollably for no apparent reason. Because of all the deaths surrounding the entirety of the plantation, people have sensed or seen ghostly figures all over the property. In Morristown, the Bethesda Church and Cemetery is said to have an incredible amount of restless spirits wandering around. The ghosts that people have seen in and around the church are mainly Confederate soldiers that perished many years ago. One witness who was passing the cemetery and church on his way home in the wee hours of the night saw what appeared to be a Confederate soldier. He was apparently swinging an old-fashioned lantern. Another witness stated he saw two Confederate soldiers standing outside the church carrying on a conversation. When they appeared to spot the witness, they continued talking and walked around the corner of the church, disappearing out of sight. There is also the ghost of a woman who appears to be crying on one side of the far side of the cemetery. If you are there at night, there is a good chance you can hear her crying. When visiting Knoxville, many people like to make their way to the historic and glamorous Bijou Theater. The structure is in remarkable condition and is a favorite spot for people looking for entertainment. Along with the entertainment, people visiting the Bijou may also encounter a ghost or two. The only ghost that has been identified is Colonel William Sanders. He passed away in the bridal suite of the theater. Other ghosts that haunt the theater include soldiers who perished in the theater when it served as a hospital. The halls are also home to a rather angry ghost. The Rotherwood Mansion is definitely one of the haunted houses in East Tennessee that ghost hunters enjoy visiting. The home is almost 200 years old and has an incredibly tragic history. The home was built by Reverend Frederick Ross. The beautiful home would prove to be a location of tragedy and despair for his daughter Rowena. She lost her first love on the day of her wedding prior to the ceremony. She went on to lose another love, and eventually her daughter perished. Unable to live, Rowena killed herself by drowning in the lake in which her first fiancé perished. After so much tragedy, Rowena's spirit is still present at the Rotherwood mansion. People have seen her wandering around the property in a long, flowing white dress. People have also heard unnerving laughter after sundown, seen creepy eyes in the windows, and even witnessed a large black dog, which is a ghost, roaming the property and howling. It is believed, after the home changed hands, it became the property of a slave owner. The laughter and other unusual activity is from the ghosts of some of the former slaves. The Delta Queen was once an impressive vessel that carried people around the Tennessee waterways and more. Today, the Delta Queen is a hotel docked in Chattanooga. People can come and see the impressive Delta Queen, stay the night, and enjoy a fabulous time. Some of the guests that visit the Delta Queen also get the opportunity to encounter shadows in some of the bedrooms. Some people find their attempts to enjoy the Delta Queen's bar prevented courtesy of the ghost of Mary B. Green, who still lives on the ship. Back in 1886, Tennessee needed a mental institution, so they opened the East Tennessee Hospital for the Insane. Years later, it was renamed the Lakeshore Asylum. People who have gone to the Lakeshore Asylum to investigate state there is a lot of ghostly activity throughout the building. Ghost hunters and other people who have found themselves within the confines of the old structure have heard screams of what can only be former patients echoing throughout the halls. Strange-looking figures have also been seen spotted around the building. The Sheraton Reed House Hotel is one of the haunted hotels in Tennessee that has verified ghosts haunting the building. The hotel has served as an elegant place to stay for people since the late 1800s. It has also been home to deaths by natural causes as well as murders and suicides. The ghost of Annalisa Netherly is believed to haunt room 311, the location where her husband murdered her upon finding out she was having an affair. Outside of room 311, things get moved around in rooms, people see shadows and mirrors. Some people have even claimed to see what appears to be someone reclining on the bed when no one is there. Some guests of the hotel and former employees state there is also the ghost of a man and a woman who may have been a prostitute haunting the hotel to this day. Some say the man's ghost hangs around because he was either murdered or committed suicide while on the premises.
Thank you for making our way through the video. If you like this video, hit that like and subscribe button and give me your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, until next time.